7-5.
Good morning, Your Honor. Raymond Davis, Mr. Davis.
Good morning. What are we doing this morning?
Not guilty, invoke 60. I made
Okay.
a copy of the updated information.
You do have a copy?
No, waiting for it.
Oh. Sure.
Mr. Mueller, you need a copy of the information?
Yes, I do.
I can print you a copy of it.
Is there an amended one though? That's not.
Oh, I
They're
only
made.
see the original info.
No, they added,
Then it has not yet been filed.
some charges in justice court. The information should be the same.
I see this information was filed May 13th, so that had been 2 days ago.
Will you print out, please?
What are the charges on this?
It's a sex case.
Sex case.
Miss Collins.
I think I left it on my desk, but if it's a not guilty plea, I can just notate it later. So,
Okay, and she's getting a copy of that. I guess there's information just filed.
Yeah,
today's.
I just realized they brought it down to me today and I left it on my desk.
I've done the same thing myself on occasion.
Yes.
No objection.
I completely understand.
Somewhere under the paperwork, they say there's a desk. I haven't seen it in years.
Don't take all my candy. Just kidding.
If it weren't for judicial candy dishes, I would starve to death. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Davis, just take a minute to look it over and read it, and then whenever you're ready.
It's the same case. We're familiar with the judge. We just did the hearing a couple days ago.
Okay, so Mr. Davis, what is your true full name, please?
Raymond Davis,
And how old are you?
52.
And did you receive a copy of the information stating the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you read through it and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you plead to those charges?
Not guilty.
And are you waiving a formal reading of those?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have a right to speedy trial within 60 days. Are you invoking or waiving that right?
Evoke.
Okay, so your speedy trial date will be?
Your calendar call will be July 1st, 9:30 a.m. Jury trial July 8th, 10 a.m. Department 6.
And comes to 21 days from today's date or the filing of transcripts to file any writs, and I will order discovery and reciprocal discovery pursuant to statute.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right. C 340075, State of Nevada versus Raymond Davis. Mr. Davis is not present out of custody. Mr. Bueller on his behalf, Ms. Collins on behalf of the state. This was on for the state's motion to place on calendar to reset trial date. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor. I will be out of the jurisdiction the 4th of July week and probably into that Monday. So if you'd like, I wanted to at least get Mr. Mueller here and see if we could.
In a matter of professional courtesy, I have no objection to resetting it.
Okay, sounds great. So when would you guys like to reset?
Relatively soon, Mr. Davis invoked and is adamant that wasn't my decision, it was his.
Okay.
So,
Let me look at where we are though in the stats, because criminal. Okay, so he's invoked. Is that right, you guys?
Yes.
Is that what Mr. Mueller- So this is the first setting?
yes.
Alright. So so are you back on the 5th? Because the only thing, I only have the 15th and the 22nd. Otherwise, that ends out my criminal stat.
Can we do the 22nd?
July?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll work.
Alright, so we're gonna do the 22nd of July. How many witnesses, how many days?
Under 10, it'll take the week because there is a lift out.
Okay. So, can we have a trial date on the 22nd? Alan, please, with the calendar call beforehand, please.
Jury trial, July 22nd, 10 a.m. Calendar call, July 15th, 9:30.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, have a good day.
Thank you, Mr.
So, go to table 11. 340-075, State of Nevada versus Raymond Davis. Mr. Davis is present out of custody. Hi.
Sorry, I was looking for Mr. Miller.
No, that's okay, that's all right. So this was the time and date set for calendar call. It's the first setting. Initial Raymond was in May, so where are we at?
However, Mr. Miller was kind enough to move this for me a week, if you recall. Mr. Davis is on invoked status. There is no prelim transcript that I have seen from Justice Court 7. I can be ready to go without it. I don't know. I haven't heard from Mr. Miller, and I've not spoken to this gentleman, so.
And for the record, Jay Maynard, bar number 1473 from New Wayne Associates. Yeah, we do not have the transcripts from Justice Court either. We would prefer having them before going on. Mr. Davis is invoked and would like to stay invoked. In addition, we think we have some motion work that's going to be going, so we could get just a minor delay for the purposes of a briefing schedule and.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though, if you're gonna file the writ, then, I mean, he's not gonna be invoked anymore. So, I totally understand if you wanna file a writ, and I totally understand if you wanna do motion work, but he's gonna have to wait the 60 days in order for you to do those things. Otherwise, he has his right to a trial. So it's really, if you guys wanna sit down and talk about it, but I can't keep an invoked status for you to file writ and do motions. Those are the things we have to weigh. So if you wanna take a moment and speak to Mr. Davis, he can either have his trial as you want. What the law says is you have a right to a trial within 60 days. But if you're gonna file a writ of habeas corpus and file other motions, then you have to waive those 60 days, or they actually get waived by you doing those things, all right? So why don't you two take a few moments to discuss that?
Okay. Yeah, let me discuss it for just a minute.
Okay, sorry, Ms. Collins.
That's okay.
Ms. Mendoza, who are you waiting? All right, so let's go back to page 11, C340075, State of Nevada versus Raymond Davis. Again, he's present out of custody, Mr. Mueller on his behalf, Ms. Collins on behalf of the state.
So I spoke to Mr. Mueller. He wants to go forward without a transcript, wants to announce ready. I can tell the court if they're going to file numerous motions this week, like they informed me they are, I can't promise I can have overnight responses for the court. So I'll do whatever.
Okay, all right, so, all right, well, Mr. Mueller, then,
Thank you, Your Honor. We've invoked Mr. Davis is anxious to get the trial and clear his name. If we could get a trial, and then if the court maybe could call and inquire from the court reporter, we can yet get the transcript before court trial. We're hearing transcript.
I don't think, Deanna, do we have control over, I mean, yeah, because it's grand jury. I mean, I'm happy to call them, or prelim.
Came out of Justice Court, when I looked last week, it wasn't filed.
I'm happy to call over there and see if, you
Maybe
know.
we just called my office and they checked a few minutes ago. It's definitely not on file yet as of this morning. So I would strongly prefer having a preliminary hearing transcript for the trial.
Okay. So, how many days, how many witnesses?
Probably less than 10 and probably 4 days, maybe 5.
Okay. All right, so since this has the potential with half days to maybe go into the second week, I have to keep this one. So we're gonna start on Monday at 1 o'clock with jury selection. I will call, down to Justice Court and see if we can get a rush on a preliminary hearing transcript. If for some reason something comes up where this, you know, isn't going to go, let me know as soon as possible, because I'm gonna be sending cases in overflow, and I wanna call them and bring them back, because I wanna handle my own cases, all right? So other than that, we'll, see you guys on Monday at 1 o'clock.
Jury trial, July 22nd, 1 p.m.
And I would just ask defense if they're gonna file the motions, that they indicated that the court give them some kind of deadline this week.
Sure, so what type of motions are we talking about, Mr. Mueller?
Your Honor, there's a docket motion here. Mr. Davis has lived in the exact same apartment for 5 years. The government, for whatever reason, still lives in the exact same apartment now that this incident is alleged to have happened. Yet the warrant's 5 years old and it was never served. It's worked to our extreme disadvantage in preparing the defense.
Okay, so when are you planning on,
I was been sitting on my desk waiting for the preliminary hearing transcripts, but we don't have them, so we'll get it on file today.
Okay, so they're gonna file their docket, and then Miss Collins, if you wouldn't, if I could have it at least to me on Friday or the latest Monday, so we can argue it before trial starts.
Sure, and I'll try to get it to you maybe by Thursday.
Okay.
Is that the only motion we have, Mr. Miller?
There's several others, but we'll prepare them to get them on file immediately.
Well, what does immediately mean? Because we got trial starting Monday, so I wanna,
I'd like to get an investigator appointed on this case.
an investigator, trial starts Monday.
I need to find, that's fine. I'll get it taken care of.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, Monday at 1.
All right, Nathan.
Yep. State of Nevada versus Raymond Tyrone Davis. Mr. Davis is not present, it was a late add-on, so we're gonna waive his presence. Mr. Maynard on his behalf, Ms. Collins on behalf of the state. So talk to me about what's going on.
So I put this on just so we had a record of everything. The preliminary hearing transcript is still outstanding. Department 7, Laughlin, or court reporter thinks he can accomplish that by Friday. I sent about 120 pages of discovery to defense counsel yesterday. I want to make sure that they received that and they're aware of it. Because it just goes to their email and there's no response. So I want to make a record of that.
Sure.
I wanted to get the court's trial schedule so I can try to figure out what I'm doing next week.
Understood. So, sorry, that's my fault. When you guys put it on calendar and asked for the court's trial schedule, we thought you meant like out. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
You meant
And I
the specific
apologize.
days we're starting.
Right. And then I have one final concern. Mr. Mueller has announced ready to proceed and set, is my understanding, is C-321316 out of District Court 25, and has told those individuals that this case isn't proceeding to trial. I have out-of-state witnesses. So if we're gonna come in on Monday, then I'm gonna be asking for travel expenses. So I wanna know if somebody's actually trying this case or they're gonna try to continue.
Okay.
Those are all my concerns.
Okay.
What was the case number?
C-321316.
So, Mr. Maynard, where are we at?
Just on the case number alone, I'm unsure of what's going on with that case. I would have to look it up and figure out which case it is, and probably familiar with it. I'm almost certainly familiar with it, I just don't know right off the top of my head from the case number.
The name for the record is capital Z-H-I-J-I-E, last name Z-H-A-O.
When was calendar call in that case? Do you know?
The same day that ours was, I believe.
Yes, and Mr. Mueller was handling that one. I would have to talk to him to see what his, what he was thinking on this, or where this is gonna fall in. I am unclear at the moment as to whether or not we received the discovery that was sent yesterday. I'm happy to check on that with our office. Do you know what email you sent to?
I sent it to Craig at craigmuellerlaw.com, and I sent it to receptionist at craigmuellerlaw.com.
For the record, we asked because we've recently changed email addresses, so there's still some confusion. Those do sound like good email addresses both. I will double check on that, make sure that came through.
So, here's the thing, and I feel bad when you come in here and you get the brunt of it, because pretty much 98% of the time, it really has nothing to do with you and it's not your fault. But Craig Mueller walked in here after Ms. Collins told him multiple times, you don't have this, you don't have that, and he said, nope, we're gonna be ready, we're gonna be ready. So, he's gonna be ready, and he's gonna have his client here, and I'm gonna tell Judge Delaney that I ordered his presence here on Monday. So you tell him to be here on Monday and to start this trial. And if he thinks he's gonna get out of trial by announcing ready in both departments, ain't happening. So have him here on Monday at, what did we say, 1 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna start on Monday at 1 o'clock with Mr. Mueller and his client. On Tuesday, we'll start at 11:30. On Wednesday, we'll start at 1. On Thursday, I would be prepared to start at 9 unless we have an evidentiary hearing. We can move it a little bit later, like 10:30.
Can we do 10:30? I think I'm okay on that.
That's fine. And then Friday at 9:30.
Thank you, Rona. Defense filed a docket motion It wasn't given to me till late yesterday, the court should have a response today. And just for the court's edification, other bad act, discovery was provided in that 125 pages, and if I make contact by that individual by today, I will have something on file with the court by early tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.